As a bariatric medicine physician, my work really involves confronting the number one public health problem of our time, and that is overweight and obesity. Like many people, I tend to take my work home. I've struggled with my own weight since I was in the 5th grade. But on the bright side, my personal and professional challenges have really helped me prepare for my talk today, which is how to make hard things easier and lose weight too. Now, I know that sounds like an infomercial, but actually I believe that we can make any challenge, including weight loss, easier by applying 3 simple steps, all rooted in human behavior. So let's get started, shall we? Step 1. What if I told you that I could teach you a technique that would make your grades better, enhance your athletic ability, boost your memory, intensify your focus, increase your creativity, make you funnier, improve your relationships, and help you lose weight, all within 24 hours, guaranteed? Anybody? Any takers? Yeah? Well, so before everybody rushes the stage, let me tell you what I'm not talking about is the magic pill from the movie Limitless. But what I am referring to is something that you all already know how to do, and that is sleep. Yes. Round of applause for sleep. So we should be spending about 36% of our lives asleep, but few of us do that. Actually, 4 out of 5 teenagers don't get the 8 to 10 hours of sleep that they actually need. Yeah. And this is really concerning because sleep is associated, or lack of sleep is associated with some serious health problems. In fact, it can increase your risk of a depression by about 500%. When we go from 7 to 5 hours of sleep a night, we actually double our risk of an early death. And a lack of sleep is also associated with weight gain because we slow our metabolic rate down and we actually increase our cravings for starchy foods. But skipping out on your sleep is not just something that's bad for your health, it can be actually disastrous for others as well. Drowsy driving is associated with 100,000 accidents and 1,600 fatalities a year. The nuclear catastrophes of Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island, well, they were caused by sleep-deprived workers. And the Exxon Valdez oil spill, yeah, that was a guy who was asleep at the wheel on a 22-hour shift. So why is making hard things easier critical? Why is sleep critical for making hard things easier? Because it's necessary for your brain to function effectively and efficiently. When we don't get enough sleep, our brain cells actually make protein products that don't fold properly, and they fill up the cell with garbage, and essentially they cause dysfunction. The net result is basically extreme makeover, caveman edition. So ask yourself, do you need an alarm clock to wake up, or do you need caffeine to stay awake? If the answer to either of these questions is yes, well then you're probably not getting enough sleep. Now is not the time to correct that, but here are a few tips that might help you tonight. So first thing is to budget for enough time for sleep. So 7 to 8 hours for adults and 8 to 10 hours for teens. Second, you should keep your bedroom dark and cool when you're sleeping. And everybody's personal favorite last is turn off all screens at least 1 hour before going to bed. I know everybody just rolled their eyes, but trust me, I'm a doctor. At least my mom thinks I am. Step 2. Something I commonly hear in my clinic is, Doc, I know what to do to lose weight. I just can't do it. Now, we all know that a caramel frappuccino is not health food, but yet we line up for it anyway. We also may have important assignments to complete, but we end up binging on Breaking Bad episodes. Now, this is basically a brain divided against itself, when the intellectual part of our brain that tells us what we should do is in mortal combat with the emotional part of our brain that tells us what we want to do. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's just classic prefrontal cortex versus limbic system. And you would be right. Yes, pat yourself on the back. So the key to making hard things easier is to actually end this mental tug of war and get these two forces to combine when what we should do and what we want to do actually come together. Now, this is possible when we marry our intellectual goals with the fuel that drives our emotional engine. And that is essentially personal relationships. Relationships wield a tremendous amount of power in our lives. In the brain, the threat of social disconnection is processed the exact same as a threat against our survival. Essentially, our fear of rejection is equivalent to our fear of death. So remember this the next time you see a kid being bullied. The physiological process that's triggered by this alarm impacts our heart rate, our blood pressure, cholesterol, our blood sugar, even our immune system. So chronic social isolation is not just a risk factor for depression, but actually it carries the same mortality risk of smoking. Bottom line, making hard things easier is not something that we can achieve alone. Rather, it is something that is a team sport. Unfortunately, when we struggle with our weight, we feel embarrassed or shameful, and we don't embrace the team mentality. Instead, we try to rely on willpower, and then we end up breaking. But if we relied on teammates, we would benefit from the mutual support and positive accountability we need for long-term success. The benefits of peer support and teamwork are clear. One is higher self-esteem, more confidence to tackle challenges. We have better quality of life, as well as we live longer. So how do we choose teammates? What's the best way to choose them? Well, first of all, we should look for people who share our goals and challenges. If I'm trying to lose 10, 20, 30 pounds, well, I don't need to buddy up with a bodybuilder. Rather, it's probably sufficient to find somebody who has the same goal and actually needs to do the same amount of work to get there. The second thing would be sincerity. I may have weight loss buddies, or I may have workout buddies that actually share my goals and challenges, but if their idea of rewarding themselves is binging on a Cinnabon, well, we're going to have some problems. And then finally, I need people on my team who I trust and respect. I may have dedicated people on my team, but if they're lying egomaniacs, well, the essence of teamwork is lost. Now, where do I find my teammates? NBA teams don't go cruising the mall looking for players. Rather, they go to the NBA draft. So similarly, if I'm trying to lose weight, well, I should probably think about joining some kind of group-based weight management program. Or nowadays, I can download an app on my phone that encourages me to engage in healthy behaviors. But I should look for ones that have a healthy and strong social media component. Whatever I choose to do, I should really participate with the intention of looking for high-quality teammates. On to step 3. In the pro sports world, we essentially pay billions of dollars to watch grown men play. Now, compared to a aid worker in Syria, this may seem like trivial work. But actually, playing is a vital human behavior. When we play, our brain is focused on the action at hand, on the action itself, as opposed to the outcome. When Michael Jordan was asked what he was thinking right before he made a shot that won the Chicago Bulls' 6th straight championship, he said, "I wasn't thinking about winning or losing, rather just making the shot." A mind at play is essentially unburdened by the agitation that comes with being obsessed by winning or losing. Instead, it is joyfully present in the action. This is called fun. Playfulness and fun make us creative thinkers, ecstatic winners, and resilient losers. Ultimately, that's probably why most coaches tell their players to play hard and to have fun. In the weight loss world, teams should get together formally to share their goals and provide each other with mutual support, but this should be done with an attitude of play. This is possible when we focus on actions that are directly in our control, like, for example, sleep or exercise or meal planning, as opposed to focusing exclusively on outcome-based behaviors like weight loss. Now, let me be clear. It's okay to have a goal like weight loss, but it's not okay to be a slave to it. Ultimately, all players want to win, but when they're faced with a string of losses, the best players don't just fall apart, rather they keep practicing, they pump each other up, and they eventually play hard. In 1993, Michael Jordan put down his basketball and picked up a baseball bat. Suffice it to say, he struck out a lot. And when he was asked if he would be upset if he didn't make the roster of a Major League Baseball team, he said, "I'm just here to see if I can do it and have fun trying." So instead of being captive, by an all or nothing thinking and a number on a scale, why don't we just have fun and perfect our behaviors and our actions in the company of our teammates and enjoy the journey? In the end, when we approach our challenges with a rested mind, motivated by teamwork, and sustained by play, hard things do get easier. Every moment is a win, and every challenge an adventure. Thank you.